Today we're going to take a hyperbola in general form and complete the square in order to write the hyperbola in standard form. Before doing that, we're going to practice factoring out a negative number. If you notice, hyperbolas have a negative sign in between our variables, unlike the ellipse. First, I'm going to look for the largest number that I could divide out of -4 and 16. When the leading coefficient in front of our squared term is negative, we need to factor out a negative. Remember, when I divide -4 into +16, I have -4. You can always distribute to make sure that you factored correctly. In number 2, I'm going to divide out a -9. Remember that -9 divided by -90 is +10. Now turn over your paper and we are going to do a practice problem with completing the square for a hyperbola. Our first step is to move the constant to the right. I now have 4x squared minus 9y squared minus 16x plus 18y is equal to 65. My next step asks me to put the x's together and leave a space, put the y's together and leave a space. Make note that your negative variable will always go second. In this case, -9y squared is my negative, so I'll put my x's first and my y's second. 4x squared minus 16x plus space minus 9y squared plus 18y plus space is equal to 65. Similar to hyperbolas, we have to factor out the common factor for both the x's and the y's. I'm going to pull out a 4 here. This is where we have to be careful with the negative. Because I have a -9y squared, I have to factor out a negative number. -9y squared. And remembering that this needs to change sign. So I have y squared minus 2y plus space is equal to 65. Now we are ready to complete the square. First, I will complete the square for my x's. Take half of my middle number, square it, and add it. -4 divided by 2 is equal to -2, and -2 squared is equal to 4. Now remember, what you add to one side of the equation, you need to add to the other side. But here, we added a 4, but really, it was adding a 16. So now I have 65 plus 16. We're going to repeat the process for the y's. Now I need to take half of negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is equal to negative 1, and then square that. Negative 1 squared is equal to 1. And then remembering to add negative 9 to both sides. Now I am asked to simplify. In this case, we are factoring on the left side of the equation and simplifying on the right. When we factor, we have to take x, and we're taking half of our middle term here, minus 2, all squared. Y minus 1, all squared. And simplifying the right side of the equation to 72. Finally, we need to divide the constant over because the standard form, the standard form of a hyperbola is always equal to 1. So I divide 72. Simplify these fractions. 72 divided by 4 is 18. 72 divided by 9 is 8. And we successfully completed the square for an ellipse. Let's try one more problem together. We are going to look at example 1. My first step, I'm going to move the constant over to the right. In my next step, I need to group my x's and my y's together. Remember, for a hyperbola, the value that is negative needs to go second. So first, I'm going to put my y's. Now, I'm going to factor out the common factor for the x's and for the y's. The largest number that divides into 5 and 20 is 5. So now I have 5 parentheses y squared minus 4y plus space. And now I am factoring out a negative 6. Remember that when I factor out a negative, it will change the sign of my second number. Now we need to complete the square. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. but I need to add 20 to both sides. 5 times 4. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. And I need to add negative 6, because negative 6 times 1 is equal to negative 6. Now we factor. Y minus 2 all squared minus 6 times x minus 1 all squared is equal to 30. Then our last step here is to divide everything by 30 so that our ellipse, or hyperbola, is equal to 1. And we simplify. 5 goes into 30 6 times. 6 goes into 30 5 times, and we have equal to 1. Now you can try example 2 on your own and see how you do when you get to class.